Welcome to Veronica Live, and I'm here with my wingman. John Salick is joining me today, and our guest we are so excited to have on is Gretchen Wollert. She's written a book called The Magic and Mayhem of Donald Trump, and it says here, oh my gosh, John's going to bond with you, because it says that you are a farmer rancher, because John just bought a farm, and I'm like, what is wrong with you people? He loves to ride his tractor, joking, of course. And you're an entrepreneur, teacher by day, historian, and author by night. So welcome, Gretchen, to Veronica Live. We have so much to talk about.
Oh, yes, we do. Thanks for having me.
So why did you write this book? This book, it says in the read-up that was sent about you that you share the story of Trump so that we get to know who he is. So tell us why you wrote this book.
Well, exactly. This came out of my first book, in which I compared Donald Trump to Abraham Lincoln. 10 chapters of amazing similarities between the man we have now and the man we had in 1860, Lincoln and Trump. This one was it's anybody who wants to know the real man behind everything that's in the news, things that you don't know about him, things you don't see every day, and definitely things the mainstream media won't tell you. But there is half the nation thinks he is the worst president in American history and deserves to be locked up for the rest of his life for crimes against society. And there's another half of the nation, part of the nation, that believes he is the savior in a time like this. And what I do is I simply reveal the man. Donald Trump is a real person. He has magic. He also has mayhem, and not all of it is stuff that is stuck on him by the media, but some of it comes out his own mouth, some of the things he does. But 10 chapters of letting you dig down and see, why does Donald Trump act the way he does? Why does he believe the way he does? Why does he say things like he does? And why is he such a stubborn guy and just cannot leave America to go the way that the radical left wants it to go? So all of those things, the real man behind the myth, and that's what's behind the magic and mayhem of Donald Trump.
Well, I call him Saint Trump all the time, and because I don't know why a man with $1 billion bank account would want to deal with this madness. And Sunday they just tried to kill him again. Why? I mean, what makes him magical? Let's start there. What is something that most people don't know?
Well, one thing that you need to understand, and this has to do with Sunday, is his incredible similarities to Abraham Lincoln. The way he leads, the way he has a vision for the nation, the way he is able to follow a path and not veer from it left or right. His stubborn will is so incredible. And do you know that Abraham Lincoln was shot at twice before finally the third time was the killer? But that's just kind of a fun fact that is similar to Abraham Lincoln. But Donald Trump has the magic. He is, in the way he speaks to people, that connection to the common man. And this is only one of many, many. But Donald Trump is not an expert public speaker, and we all know that. But what he is expert at speaking to the public. You go to his rally, you ask him a question on an interview, and what comes out his mouth is what he really thinks and what he really does and what he really believes. The man is entirely genuine. That's a part of his magic. He's not going to say something that he doesn't really believe. And so many other things as well. The fact that he will never, ever give up. You talk about, he's a billionaire. Why is he doing this? It has to do with that. If somebody says it's impossible, he's going to do it. But it's the love of this country. And he has a very deep moral core that has a firm belief in what's right and what's wrong, and his love of this country. And that is so magical because he is speaking for every single ordinary person like you and like me.
So Gretchen, what do you attribute that to? To me, the word that comes to mind is grit. I don't know if that's popular out in your area of the woods. Stick-to-itiveness or whatever. Is that the characteristic we're looking at here? Some people call it American exceptionalism. But it's this phenomena, and for whatever reason, it connects with ordinary Americans, but it doesn't connect with the political class for some reason.
No, the political class, and Donald Trump not being a politician, he's got this big showmanship, external facade that he has worked, very hard to cultivate it. But the real man behind there is just very ordinary, loves ordinary people. He gravitates toward, just the basic Americans at whatever he's doing, a rally or visiting somewhere. But, Donald Trump has that John Wayne America mentality. It is right versus wrong. It is sitting tall in the saddle, never backing down or backing up. It's a fighter mentality. He's got that. And it's very simple. It is his philosophy of life is so incredibly simple. It includes forward motion. It includes doing what is right by your family, by your nation, by all of those things that matter. His faith is incredibly simple, very, very simple, and very similar to Abraham Lincoln. A belief in God, but not a churchgoer, and yet, he's not perfect, and we all know that. He was a playboy in his youth, but just that John Wayne sense of America, and he is in the position, and he knows it. He has the power. He has the grit, just like you said, and it's grit. Some people would call it chutzpah. That's a word, but it's guts. And Donald Trump firmly believes in never backing down, and he never gives up either. He wrote a book on it called Never Give Up. It's just a philosophy of his life, and he's tough. He's just so incredibly tough and fearless.
Well, what was funny, Gretchen, I was going to say, John, was Florida hosted back in 2015 all of the candidates running for office, and it was like 17 players came to Florida. And that was the night I met him and got my picture with him. It was my birthday. And this weekend after he was shot, I went, because C-SPAN covers all these things. So I found the speech, and it was that was the night I fell in love with him. He was still talking about the border. He was strong. And then at the end, he worked the crowd. And actually, I'd never watched the speech. And so I kept seeing clips of me. And then when I met him and I said, "Oh, it's my birthday," and he paused, the whole evening was magical. And so I don't know. I was so sad on Sunday because I don't think this is the last time they're going to try to kill this man. And I think of him as a saint. Our nation needs him. We are so corrupt right now on the other side. Do you feel that way?
I definitely do. Donald Trump is one of the first ones that said, it was God alone who prevented the unthinkable in Butler, Pennsylvania. Donald Trump truly does believe that. And the more you are in that presidential position, and yes, he's not been in the White House, but he is still in that powerful presidential position that we see. He is our guy. He's got a score to settle. We want him to settle it for us. We want him to bring back the America that we want. But as a historian and looking back on history, we see that there were unbelievable moments in American history that there is no other explanation, that it was divine providence. It was the hand of God on this nation and moving it forward. And I believe that, there are, just like Abraham Lincoln dealt with, half the nation wanted to go their own way and put slavery everywhere. Lincoln stood up and said, no, well, we are in that position again. We are so divided. We have a Democrat Party and a deep state that wants to take the nation in a direction that, half the nation, those of us who are flag-waving, church-going, conservative, Constitution lovers, we don't want to go there. And that's what Donald Trump is standing up against, that radical left socialist agenda. And that's where we are today. But he is in the position to do it. But I believe that after this second foiling the attempt, that we see God's hand in this. And for whatever reason, Abraham Lincoln had that hand on him as well. The fact that he got the 13th Amendment passed and defeated the Confederacy, and then his second term, which he only had a month into his second term before he was finally assassinated. But we, of course, can't see in the future, but many of us do believe that God's hand is in this. It is on this, and we're not sure where it's headed. But, sometimes it just takes trust and faith, and then the result comes later. But Donald Trump believes that, and so do many of us.
He was on an X Space last night. It was like kind of the first interview. He talked about the second assassination attempt, and he does feel that God wants him around. So, but I'm just petrified. I thought it was a nail biter with one attempt down, and now we've got two, and now I feel like there's a mole. So I'm scared to death, Gretchen, that he's, we need him in November to win this. But I don't know how to. I'm sprinting. I'm trying to get him to the finish line. The polls open today in Pennsylvania. I just hope we can. Do you? I want him to win.
Yes, and one thing that you just have to do is, first of all, you need to trust him. He has never changed since he began coming down that escalator, leaving his ivory tower to come join the real American people and to fight for this nation. God raises up people for different times and for different purposes. I believe he raised Donald Trump just for this time because of his incredible ability to fight the Democrats, which Republicans have been losing for years. They're such bad fighters. But here comes this guy, and he just flat punches back. He doesn't care who you are, what color you are, man, woman, whatever. He just punches back, and he's willing to fight fire with fire. And any Republican who has decided that they are for Harris instead of Donald Trump they're not true Republicans anyway. They are just neocon, deep state, and with severe TDS, actually. Yeah. But yes, whatever God is keeping him alive for. And if you believe that, I truly believe that. Donald Trump believes that. We just need to go forward and do the best we can with fighting for this nation, for the good things of this nation.
Yeah, Veronica and I talk about that quite often. This is really a good versus evil battle. You have these godless statists on the Democrat that have taken over the Democrat Party. It's not the, I'm a little bit older, and I remember the Democrat Party when it used to be, reasonable people. My grandfather was a county chairman in the Democrat Party, so, but that was a very different. He'd be a Republican today, and he wouldn't recognize it. So where does this? What is this divide? Why is this divide being successful? Is it just the lack of people believing in God, or do people not believe in America anymore? Is that a lost cause?
Well, nothing is lost until it's done, and there is a battle going on right now. We are in the war. If it gets more serious, we'll wait and see. But what we are fighting is lies. We're fighting for the truth to come out. The Democrat Party has done a complete flip-flop, and they now are the part. And by the way, they have always been the party of the plantation. There's not been a flip-flop between the Republican Party and the Democrat Party. Some people say that happened, and now the Republicans are the racists. Well, no, that's just fake history. Had nothing but The Democrat Party now, they used to be for the working person, decades ago. They are no longer. It's about not having God in your platform. It's about being so greedy and power hungry. It's all about getting voted into power. It is this change from the working man being for the working class, and now they are for the elites. Now they are for big money. Now they are for big business, and all of this change. And yet they lie so openly. They are trying to lie their way into the White House again, and they're good at it. They are sneaky. They are vicious as well, but they are relentless. And they don't give up. The end always justifies the means. But the divide has happened over decades, probably 30 to 50 years. They have pretty much taken over universities, and getting prayer out of the classrooms was a good start for them. And now they have children that have grown up a generation and really aren't connected to that faith, that spiritual part of America on which we were founded. Our republic cannot exist without a virtuous population, and that's a part of it as well. But the Democrats, the fact that they survived the Civil War has done nothing but wreak havoc with African Americans, with anyone who actually wants the American dream. And if you go back through history and you see this and you're like, they've never really been the party they've always been the party that wants to be in power. And they give out little nuggets of stuff just so that people will stay connected. And they'll give out lots of stuff because it's hard to say no to stuff. And then you realize that, oh my goodness, we have been in this Democrat Party and look what they are. Nobody would know what they really are without Donald Trump. He absolutely revealed how horrifically deep the state was. And now we see it. And of course it has become, an open, there's no common ground in the middle right now. And we can just say that, just like there was no common ground in the middle during the Civil War. Either you were for slavery or you were against slavery. The everyday person, they picked sides, and today there are two sides there, and we are fighting for those two Americas.
Gretchen, is your thoughts on Harris, because she's flip-flopped on everything. Her running mate, John and I are, I'm a retired Air Force officer. John's a Navy veteran. Yeah. The stolen valor. And,
that's really bad.
Leaving his unit when he had to go, overseas. I can't even take it. I just find that they're liars about everything. And then, of course, the entire DNC that I took for the team, because John refused to watch it, was let's kill babies at every moment. And, that Donald Trump is pretty much, they didn't say he was Hitler, but they say it all the time anyways, is Hitler. So how do you see the Harris-Waltz ticket? I mean, I just find these people, they're just not who I want leading our nation. And then, of course, we've, recently found out about Harris's husband, who was a philanderer with his first wife and the nanny, and it sounds like the nanny had an abortion. I mean, these people are sick. I don't know. I just can't deal with this as a Christian. It just pushes me over the edge. So how do you see it?
And you need to understand, first of all, that where the Democrat Party has come, you need to interpret them properly. Any Democrat leader in the nation, whatever they say is exactly the opposite of what is true. It's a complete discombobulation of everything that is good and right. Yes, they lie all the time. The debate that Trump and Harris had, of course, the mainstream media is a big part of it. And they used to own all of that mainstream media. Now we have some things, but the Democrats chuck out lies in huge blobs. They're not accountable. They're doing it openly now because they know they're going to be covered by the media, and you know, good thing they don't still have X, formerly Twitter, because that's where millions and millions of people now get their news from that.
Oh my gosh,
and
it's
from
awesome.
podcasts and shows like this. But yes, if the truth gets out about Harris and Waltz, then people will not vote for the radical left agenda. But that's the hurdle that has to be overcome, is the truth has to come out. You know, they're Hunter laptoping her. They are just saying everything that they think will deceive people into voting for her. And then afterwards, oh, well, if I had known that she was really this radical left person, I wouldn't have voted for her. Mm-hmm. But they're counting on that, hiding the truth. And they have done it for years, until Donald Trump showed up and revealed how wicked and vicious they are. And now we're in a battle. And it is happening right now. But yes, I believe Christians need to get on board. You know, Donald Trump did his best, just like Abraham Lincoln did with the slavery issue, to try to eliminate that war on women ammunition that the left has always had against the Republican Party. He's trying to eliminate that. He is still pro-life. But there are so many Christians out there who just, for whatever reason, they're just, oh, I can't vote for him because it's just his personality. I don't like him. He used to be bad in his past and whatever. Christians need to understand where this is headed.
Exactly.
And, you know, have a one-on-one with God and find out where they need to be, because it is all about policy.
Well,
policy affects people.
Gretchen, we want everybody to, your book is called The Magic and Mayhem of Donald Trump. It's on Amazon. It's Gretchen Wollert, and we'd love to have you back. And, you know, John will race you in his tractor on the farm, just so you know. He'll have to go to Wyoming, and you'll have to come to Georgia. We'll have
you
some
probably
races.
That is awesome. Way to go. You know, farming is a lifestyle, and we love it. And a great way to raise your kids. But, yeah, I'm all for farmers. So, but, yeah, we can take on that bet. We'll race you. My husband's pretty good. He's had a lot of years of practice.
Well, Gretchen, it's been a pleasure having you on Veronica Live, and love to have you back. So thanks for joining our show today.
My pleasure, and anytime.
All right. Thank you.